Good afternoon and welcome to the 2018 Niche Conference Poster Presentation Informational Webinar. And congratulations to you all. Today's webinar will be 60 minutes in duration, including 15 minutes for questions and answers at the end. Presenting today's webinar, we have Dr. Catherine D'Amico, the Director of Programs here at Niche, Samara Zweig, Associate Director of Operations, and myself, Eugenia Bachelita, Assistant Director of E-Learning. So welcome, everyone. Before we get started, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items. During this webinar, if you need support, please feel free to reach out to us at 212-998-5596, or you can email us at support@nicheprogram.org. And as I mentioned before, we'll have Q&A at the end of this presentation. Because we're in webinar mode and the participants of this webinar do not have microphones enabled, you will need to submit your questions through the webinar control panel. So look for the daisy icon on your computer's taskbar and then click the icon to access your webinar control panel. In this view, you'll see two versions of the webinar control panel. The view on the left side is the collapsed view. In order to expand the view of your webinar control panel, just click on the orange arrow at the top. The full view of the webinar control panel is displayed here on the right-hand side. Once your webinar control panel is displayed in the expanded view, locate the Questions tab, type in your question, and click Send, and we'll be sure to answer all questions directly following this presentation. And if you'd like to follow along with today's presentation, feel free to download the webinar handout, which is located in the handout section of your webinar control panel as seen here. All right, so now I'd like to invite Kathy D'Amico to cover the agenda and the first portion of this webinar. Kathy?
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be with all of you today. This afternoon, I am going to cover preparing your poster for the Niche Conference. When I am completed, Samara and Eugenia will work with you on the content management platform and the speaker portal demo, and then we'll be available to take questions. So for your poster presentation, what I think you should do for your poster presentation is to think in PowerPoint slides. Simple, compact PowerPoint slides. PowerPoint slides in most poster formats that you can get online or from your local large stationery store. You take the PowerPoint slides and you import them to the format, and that way when you do the slides, it helps you to put it together. So keep the text to the minimum. You want to avoid redundancy. You want to use facts and simple phrases and words. You want to avoid jargon. As I explained yesterday, jargon in one hospital is not the same jargon in another, and it's certainly the jargon from nursing homes to hospitals is not always the same either. So you really want, if you have terms that you use about certain conditions, things that you might be presenting, it's important that you spell it out and don't use jargon. You want to present your numerical data in charts and graphs. You want to use the color effectively for those charts and graphs. Bold colors, and you want to use colors that you can assist the individual to see the differences in what you've achieved. If you previously had 20 falls a month and you now have 10 falls a month, you want that bar graph or that chart to be bright and colorful so that people can see that visual difference very quickly. Your poster presentation, it's important if it should either read from left to right or from top to bottom. And we will show you some examples of what good poster presentations look like. Remember that the permitted size and shape for a poster here for Niche, so usually you can, for conferences, you can use portrait versus or landscape. For this conference, you should use a landscape version. Some conferences accept posters as big as 60 inches by 40 or 48 inches, or as small as 16 by 20. For the niche conference, the maximum size is 42 inches by 56 inches, and a foam core board is not permitted. You should think about how you want the finish on your poster. You can have a glossy finish, you can have it without a special finish. The finish typically costs a little bit extra, but the foam core will not hold up, so you can have that would be a laminated poster board. You do not want a laminated poster board. You do want to laminate it, but you don't want foam core on a board. So how far away should the reader be able to read it? So you should be able to read the larger print from 6 feet away. You want it to attract someone's attention. You want somebody to be able to grasp the idea very quickly. You want to use a legible font, and you want to use a font consistently. Sans serif fonts are what is suggested, such as Arial. You'll see that the slides today are in a similar kind of font. This font doesn't have any curly cues on the ends, so that when it's put up on a poster, it really does make it much easier to read. So you want to look at your formats, and you want to think about your information. You want to have an information hierarchy and use the fonts and the styles and colors to establish importance. You want to have your poster professionally prepared and printed. The lamination is important because that improves your durability. And you want to find out from your organization or school, particularly if they're paying for the conference, how you have their logo put on your poster. It's important that as you have your poster professionally prepared or printed, the other thing you can consider is having it prepared on fabric. And as we talk about transporting your poster, I can give you some instances about why having it printed on fabric is helpful. So if you look at this example of a poster, the problem with this is it's too cramped, it's too tiny. You really can't see, everything is all cramped together. There's a small space that's got 7 graphs in it. You want one graph that represents your main things in a space like that, or maybe 2, but certainly not 7. So if you look at the next slide shows you a poster with an effective presentation. It's got color. You can tell which direction you're supposed to go in. It's got pictures that exemplify what's necessary. So this way, and it's used color and spacing to help the person understand what you want to let them to demonstrate to them about your changes. So as you prepare to present the poster, you need to bring your poster to the conference. Niche cannot receive the poster for you, and so you need to transport the poster to the conference or any other venue in a tube that protects the conference. If you choose to print your poster on fabric, you can fold your poster and put it in the suitcase. If you fold it neatly and put it in the suitcase, and on the day you arrive, you hang it from one of the hangers that you would hang a skirt on, all the wrinkles hang out, especially if you put it in the bathroom while you're taking a shower. Do not ship the poster to the conference unless you are shipping it to yourself and arrange to pick it up when you check in. Niche staff cannot receive the poster for you. In preparing the poster, I did not mention, I said you could do a stationery store. So any Staples, Office Depot, those kinds of places can prepare the poster. They will also prepare a poster on fabric. So bring your business cards with you. Make sure that you have a short talk about the poster to use as the viewers come to see your work. Provide them your business card. Explain to them how you will provide an abstract to them if they request it. Offer your card and offer to send them an abstract after the conference is over. We will need for you to put abstracts next to your poster. If you intend to bring abstracts with you, we expect that you have only a few with you at a time, and that when we walk through the poster area later, that we don't find your abstracts on the floor. That's one of the reasons why we don't provide a place for you to hang them up, because one of the problems that we've had before is that the abstracts were all over the floor. So I'm going to turn this back over to Eugenia and let her move forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so by now everyone should have received a congratulations email that your abstract has been accepted to present at this year's conference. In that email, there is a unique link for your speaker portal. Now, many of you have not logged into this platform yet, so please locate that email and log into the speaker portal. So this next portion of the presentation is going to be all about the content management speaker portal area for you to utilize. So when you log in for the first time, you will see this view. At the top, you'll notice there are 3 tabs: Dashboard, My Sessions, and Reports. We'll only focus and need to use the Dashboard and My Sessions section of the portal. So let's take a closer look at what's on the dashboard. Okay, action items. So here you can find our contact information, important dates, and reminders. So for technical problems that you may encounter while using this platform, you can reach out to eventsupport@hub.me. And for all other questions conference related about your poster, abstract, anything like that, please use the conference@nicheprogram.org email handle, and someone will be sure to get back to you with your questions. I'd like to draw your attention to the important dates section. The final version of your poster, saved as a PDF, deadline is March 9th. This is a hard deadline, and everyone is encouraged to submit their poster PDFs prior to March 9th. Later in this presentation, we'll cover how to submit your poster PDFs through this portal. Also, you should know that there is quite a bit of turnaround time for you submitting your poster to a printing agency. So just keep that in mind, that you'll need plenty of time to be able to submit that and get that back, to yourself, so that you can bring it with you to the conference. So please prepare and plan for all of that, and March 9th is the deadline. Let's continue discussing the action items on your speaker portal dashboard. So once you log in, the first thing that you should do is update your profile. By updating your profile, you're essentially providing us with the correct information that will be showcased in the conference program. So click on your name in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and once on your profile page, click the Edit button, which is located in the upper right-hand corner. You can see this example on the screenshot here. Once you're in edit mode, you can upload a picture, you can input all of your details here, you can update whatever you'd like. Not all the contents from this profile page will appear in our conference program, but items that will appear are your full name, your organization, your credentials, the title of your presentation. And also to mention, this platform has community capabilities. So any of the content you update here and click to display as visible, this allows other presenters to see your details, other presenters in this conference to see your details. It's not necessary, but you might find it enjoyable to connect with others that are going through the same process as you. So that capability is here for you. All right, so under the details for presentation types section of the dashboard, we have listed here is for podium and poster. So I'm going to draw your attention to the poster section so we can go through those details. All right, there is a new format for this year's poster session. Poster presentations will be divided into 2 groups this year and displayed on either Wednesday, April 11th or Thursday, April 12th. The sessions will take place during the afternoon beverage breaks, which have now been extended to 1 hour each day. So we've extended these beverage breaks during this time. That is when, depending on which day you're scheduled to present, during that time, that's when you'll stand by your posters and talk about your poster. Now, we do require that there be at least one presenting author standing by the poster during the 60-minute session. If a second presenting author is present, we encourage that author to be present as well. Since we're dividing the viewable presentations in half this year, there will be twice as many people viewing posters for each session. And by having both authors present, it will help facilitate more conversation around your poster displays. So the poster requirements, as Kathy has already touched on, the maximum poster size is 56 wide, 42 inches high. Your poster can be printed on fabric or laminated poster board. And again, to emphasize this again, we will not accept any poster printed on foam core board. And the reason behind this is because we have certain types of poster board and the foam core is just too thick. You won't be able to put a push pin through that. So there would be no way to display them. So don't make that mistake. Fabric or laminated poster board, please. Presenters, again, are responsible for printing, transporting, and displaying and removing all posters from the area. So we will be assigning your poster presentation date early next week. So keep an eye out in the speaker portal for those details. And as this demo continues, I'll show you where you can locate that information early next week once the assignments have been made. On-site at the conference, setup will take place during lunch on your assigned day. So if you've been assigned to present your poster display on April 11th, then during that lunch hour earlier that day, you can then set up your poster. Just look for the niche representative during that lunch break in the poster area, and they'll have push pins available for you so that you can adhere your poster to the poster board. We do ask that you remove your posters after the last session of that day. So again, if you're presenting on April 11th, please come back at the end of the day on April 11th and take down your poster, because we want those presenting on April 12th to have space that they can post their poster boards. Any posters not removed by the end of each day will be discarded at the close of the conference. So keep that in mind. I know you all spend a lot of time working on these, and you can also use these for other conferences. So please make sure to come and collect them for recycling purposes. Now let's discuss where you can find your selected abstract. To view your selected abstracts for poster presentation, navigate to the My Sessions tab, as you can see here on the screen. So now we're in the My Sessions tab, and you can see each of your selected abstracts here. In order to view the complete abstract, you would click on the title of the abstract. To the right of the title, you'll see session type. Here you will see the selected abstract has been what it's been selected as. So in this case, it would be poster. To the right of that is the track or the category. And finally, to the right of that is the room and time slot information. So once we finalized the date and the time of when you will be showcasing your poster, we'll update these fields for you to view and plan accordingly. So that's what I mean by check back here early next week. You'll go to this area, see if it's been updated, and then you'll know if you're going to be in the beverage break April 11th or the 12th. Okay, back to the abstract content. If you want to edit your abstract details, click on the title of the abstract from the previous screen that we just saw. And then once you're on this page, you would just click the edit button in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Once you're in edit mode, you can make changes and update your abstract. Now, other than spelling errors, it's not likely that you'll need to update your abstract at this point, but the option is there if you would like to. What some of you might want to edit are the authors. You can edit authors by clicking on the plus or minus signs to add or remove authors. Selected authors for your abstract are located in the right column of this view. To remove authors, you would want to click on the minus sign next to the author's name. And then conversely, to add an author to your abstract, search for the author's name in the search box on the left column. Now, please note, only authors that are in the system will be located. So if the author name is not in the system, contact me, Eugenia, and I'll send you the necessary paperwork to be filled out to add that author into the system. The paperwork will be sent to you through this portal, and you'll be able to download it, complete it, upload it back into your account. And once that action has been completed, the requested author will be added to the system and assigned to the abstract in question. As a poster presenter, we ask that you send us a PDF of your poster once your poster has been finalized. So here is where you will upload your poster PDF. You're going to click on the upload button from this page. To upload a file, you select the file type, add a title, which should be the title of your poster, which should be the title of your abstract. Add a description if you need to, add a comment if needed. Then you're going to browse and attach the file, and then simply click the upload button. In order to make changes to your existing file, you can do two things. Click on the title and you'll see the full details and description and comments in the expanded view. So the two ways I mentioned of making changes would be to either download the file or update the file. Either way, you will make your changes, and the goal is to replace the current file with a new updated file. This is so that we don't confuse which is your final presentation versus, an earlier version. Thank you. So let's go through how to do this. To download the file, you're going to click the download link, follow the instructions to open and save the file. To update the file, click on the update link. You can then edit your description or comment section and click save. If you want to update the existing file, just click on the link stating click here to view the existing file. Follow the instructions to open, save the file, make the changes, save as, and then click the browse button to attach the updated file. Once attached, click save. If you've been selected to present more than one poster presentation for the conference, you'll upload one PDF file per poster. And again, the goal is to replace your working files, not add updated files. We should only see one PDF file per poster on this page. And if you have any questions about that, just let us know. And I'd like to remind everyone, again, if you have questions, start typing them into the questions tab of the webinar control panel, and that way we'll be able to answer those questions right away at the conclusion of this presentation. Okay, moving on. In order to view changes or the history of your uploaded files, you can click on the title of your poster to expand the view. Now you can see the history of the updates performed on this single file, as seen on this screenshot here. Once our conference committee has reviewed your final poster PDF, they'll change the status from pending to approved. If they reject your poster PDF, and I said this in our webinar yesterday, please don't take offense to the term reject. This is not a niche word. This is an internal to the system word. So if they select reject of your poster PDF, they will add comments in order for you to make those needed changes. And when they do, you'll want to make those changes and then upload a brand new file for review. So once we've either changed it from pending to rejected, that file is sort of exhausted. You won't be able to update that. So that's why we're saying this is the only case where we want you to submit a brand new file for the same poster in question. It's because that previous version was rejected. So now this one has to be reviewed. And hopefully at this point, it will change from pending to approved. So again, March 9th, have your presentations in by then, because this gives us a quick second to look them over and approve them, or provide you comments for updates. And then you'll need to build in that time to send it to the printers. So keep all of that in mind, which is why we've set that March 9th deadline. All right, so we've come to the end of the presentation here. On the board, you will see there are a few questions. This was from our podium presentation webinar yesterday, and we thought a few of these questions might be pertinent to be answered in this session. So I'm going to start with those, and then that'll give you all time to start getting in your questions to the webinar control panel now. So let's look at these. So who updates the final poster PDF into the speaker portal? The answer to that is the primary presenting author. The primary presenting author is really the person that was responsible for doing everything, submitting the paperwork. They will also be the responsible party for uploading that final poster PDF to the speaker portal. Next question was, typically, what is the size of the audience in these sessions? So keep in mind that this is during a beverage break, and everyone in the entire conference is invited to the beverage breaks. It's going to be a 60-minute beverage break now, so that it gives people time to grab coffee, circulate, look at the posters, ask questions. So we're projecting, but not everyone shows up. We're projecting anywhere between 600 and 700 people. That's why we recommend, if you have a second presenting author, have them there with you, because this is going to be an exhausting 60-minute session for you. And so we want to make sure that as people are circling and asking you questions, that you might have a partner there to help assist with that flow. We also want you to arrive 15 minutes prior to that beverage break. That way you can be in place, ready to go, so that as soon as that session right before the beverage break lets out, you're already there in position and ready to meet the masses, so to speak. And there's, gives everyone enough transition time. So please make sure that you're there 15 minutes before the beverage break starts. When will we know the date of our poster session? So this was asked yesterday, and I wanted to make, we've already answered that in the presentation, but it will benefit answering it again. We will be posting the date of your poster session in the speaker portal under the My Sessions tab early next week. So probably not by Monday, but I would say if you want to check back there late Tuesday afternoon, early Wednesday, it should be there then. If it's not there, then just check back the next day. All right, so that brings us to the end of those questions. Let me turn my attention here to the questions coming through from you guys. So we understand no printout of abstracts. Should we bring copies of posters for handouts as we have in the past? And the answer to that is no. Again, we find that people will take, they'll take them, but then it'll end up being litter. And we just sort of feel like the posters on display, you'll be there to provide questions. And also at the conclusion of the conference, we will be posting your poster PDF as a handout on the conference website as well as in the mobile app. So if someone wants to refer to your poster, they can click a link and it'll be there. And we might even, we don't want it to be a spoiler, which is why we always do it after the conference, but because the format's a little different this year, we may try to post those linkable files earlier. But either way, they will have a copy of something that is a little bit more on the go green side of things. So don't bring anything with you except for your business cards. That might be nice. They might have follow-up questions, and then that would be a good way for them to be able to get in touch with you. So thank you for that question. Next question. Several nurses want to come to the conference, but has booked the early bird rates. If the poster presentation is on a different date, how can they edit the day of their attendance? So that's a great question. If you need help with that, you can always email conference@nicheprogram.org, or you can tell them to go back to their registration. They can click to log back in and they can modify their registration. When they modify, they can choose different dates. Now, if they have not paid for the 3-4 day conference and they've paid for a 1-day or a 2-day conference, as long as they don't want the money to change, like going from 2 days to 3 days, they can just select, they can stay within that parameter of selecting the same days, but just different dates. So keep that in mind. You can go back in, modify your registration, and choose different dates. If that's not working for you or they need more hands-on assistance, email conference@nicheprogram.org and someone will assist you. So that's an excellent question. Thank you for that. Okay. Great. Next question. You mentioned we may contact you to add authors that are not previously in the system. Is it best to just contact you via email? Yes, please. You'll find that I am a lot more responsive via email, and that's only because at any given moment I might be in meetings. Just send me an email. Let me know. Let me know the details, and then I will send you whatever information you need to know for next steps. So, oh yeah, that's a good mention. February 15th. Okay, so the last date to change speakers is February 15th, and I should have mentioned that. I will update the slide deck to include that February 15th, so that if you want to look at this slide deck later on, you can refer to it. The reason that the last date to change that is because we have to have our finalized program information by then. So no changes after that. Anything that's in the system currently after February 15th is going to fly as is. So thank you. But do reach out to me if you need to add an author that's not in the system. Otherwise, I showed you how to do that in the system. Okay, can we give you a preference for date of session? So I apologize for the brief pause there. My colleague Samara Zweig is speaking into my left ear. So if there is a reason that you need to do that, we can't accommodate everyone, but if there's a specific reason you need to do that, then we will try to accommodate that. Send an email to conference@nicheprogram.org, and in the subject line, list poster session request. And please do it today, if because we're literally about to make assignments like between today and tomorrow. So send that email today at conference@nicheprogram.org. In the subject line, please list a poster session request. And that way we can follow up with that. So thank you for that question. Okay, next question. Can you include a QR reader code into the poster so it can be scanned and or downloaded for those that would like a copy? We can't accommodate the QR codes, but if someone has a QR reader on their app, like as an app. Yeah, so the answer to that is we can't accommodate it, but if someone has a QR reader on their phone, that's fine, as long as the technology is available to people. But we, yeah, it won't be provided through Niche. Yeah, and it won't be in our app. But thank you for that. And if that didn't answer your question, let me know. But if there's a way, a general, like in the Amazon app where you can go around and scan things, if there's that capability, that's fine. Another question, are we uploading the poster or the PowerPoint for approval? So thank you for that question. Yes. So because all presentations, whether they be podium or poster, people are getting continuing education credits for them. So, and we as the accrediting body through ANCC are providing those credits. We just have to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed for paperwork reasons with ANCC. So because of that, we have to compare your abstract to your poster, which means we do need a few minutes to look it over and approve it. Yes. So your final submission should be a PDF of the final poster. So if you've done the work in PowerPoint, make it one slide, convert it to a PDF, and submit that. You will want to wait for our approval before you move forward on having that printed. So if that means that you need to submit it before the March 9th deadline, that's fine. If you do submit it before the March 9th deadline because you're worried about your printing, then please send us an email saying, hey, I need to get my poster printed. Please look this over for approval. And then we'll know to specifically go back to yours and look it over for approval at that point. And again, you'll want to communicate that to conference@nicheprogram.org. And again, we filled all of those questions all day long. So if you send in an email, we'll know, oh, she or he has put in their final poster PDF. Let's take a quick peek at it, make sure it's good to go, and then we'll switch that pending from pending to approval. And then you know you're ready to go with the printing. So thanks for asking that. That was a really important point. Thanks. Okay, so there are no more questions. I'd like to just give you all 1 or 2 more minutes to type in your questions should you have any. But while we're waiting for that, a copy of this presentation will be emailed to everyone in about an hour, whether you attended or didn't attend. If you were registered for today's session, you'll receive an email with a copy of the recording. I will also post a copy of this recording in the speaker portal. I'm going to show you where that is. So you see the dashboard here, right under important dates. So under this final presentations due March 9th, underneath that, it will say poster presentation informational webinar. Click here to view, and it'll be a clickable link that is going to be an uploaded YouTube video of this presentation today. So if you click that, you'll be able to view it again, or if you're standing in place of another presenting author, just point them to the direction of this page. It will be here before the end of the day. And I will also have another link here for today's slide deck, which will just be the PDF handout, but I will be sure to include some of the questions that came through here so that you can refer back to them. All right, during that little explanation, a couple more questions came in. A question, how many posters will be displayed each day? Approximately 40. So thank you for sending that in. Another question, what's the turnaround time after March 9th deadline for printing? Yeah, it's going to be up to your printing. So, again, Kinko's, FedEx, those types of places. Yeah, it'll take about a week for approval from us. So give us a week. So from March 9th and then a week after that, that will be the duration. If you submit your final before that date, again, send us an email to alert us that your final is there. And then from the date that you send that email, it'll take us about a week or less to have that turnaround time as well.
Just so I could remind everybody that one of the things you should do if you want to know the turnaround time for your printing is to stop into your local Staples or Office Depot, wherever you're going to have it printed. If you have it printed through your organization, some hospitals have groups that do their poster printing. If you're going to do it through your hospital, start asking today what the turnaround time is going to be so that you can get that information and work backward from that information for your turnaround time.
Great, thank you. Another question came in. I came in late. I've never taken a flight with a poster. Do you have any recommendations for travel? So one of the things that we had mentioned was if you have like a laminated poster, to roll it up nicely and get one of those traveling tubes, and then you can carry it onto the plane. Obviously, you'll probably have to store it in the above compartment or at your feet. If it's particularly long, you may have to check it. Another example is to have it printed as fabric. And as Kathy mentioned, you can neatly fold a fabric poster, pack it in with your suitcase, and then when you get to the hotel, hang it up, maybe steam it a little bit if needed. But those wrinkles should come out pretty easily, especially if you do a good job packing. I might suggest the rolling of the packing for your suitcase. So that's a great question. Thank you for that. All right. Do we have any other questions? And this is not the final moment that you can ask questions. It's just the final moment that you have our undivided attention. But you can send an email to conference@nicheprogram.org. We do answer those emails daily. So we're still here for you. We're here to provide you support for whatever questions you may have that you haven't thought of. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you think of something after this webinar. Again, we'll have this information posted to the speaker portal later today. If you haven't logged into the speaker portal, please do so today so that everything we discussed here can be reinforced by you actually viewing it and kind of looking at what you've got to work with. And you can find that link in your original congratulations email that was sent from us back on January 9th. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the date. So find that email and then you can log in from there. All right. Well, no more questions have come in. I want to again congratulate all of you. We're excited to see your work on display. So thank you for submitting and being participants for the 2018 Niche Conference. And we're looking forward to seeing you all there. So thank you. Take care. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.